Dr. Joelene Huber is here. She's a pediatrician. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you here. So we thought, you know what, we were making this point earlier that when you have kids, stuff can roll out, you think you're on it, and then something shows up and you're like stumped. You don't know what to do. So you have your most frequently asked questions.
Right. Parents often don't know where to look in the internet, and there's so much information and misinformation, and a lot of the questions that parents ask are just day-to-day questions that happen in typical life. So one of the first questions I have that's pretty common is parents ask whether they can clean their baby's or child's ear with a Q-tip. And
are we supposed to give our opinion? So I think no. I think you should not.
No, absolutely. Under no circumstance. Do you put anything in the ear canal?
Remember,
Right.
you can do the top there,
just the edge.
but don't get in there.
Exactly.
Are we
See,
right?
I'm the one
away.
without a kid, and
You are
I
good.
think, what's wrong
That
with
seems fine.
Yeah, that
Yes.
is stick it in there.
Shove stuff in there.
I got a butter knife. What?
So I had a professor once that said, don't put anything in your ear smaller than an elbow. So you're exactly right. You don't want to put anything into your ear. You can just clean the edge. And earwax actually is useful. It can fight germs. It helps to keep particles out of the ear. And the ear canal is really only about 1 inch long, so you have to be really careful. And it also actually, interestingly, can repel bugs, the scent of earwax. So it's important.
But some kids are really get a lot of ear infections. I know we have a neighbor, and they're always having to go to emerge because the kid's got an ear infection. But unfortunately, ours don't. Why do some kids get it and some kids don't?
Yeah, some children are just prone to ear infections. They get more colds, if they're in daycare and that kind of thing. Yeah.
All right, next question.
Next question. So, at what age can babies begin to wear sunscreen?
Ooh, I have 2 kids, and I've wondered this twice, and I do not know the answer. 6 months? 2 months? 6 months?
6 months, yeah, 6 months. And just their skin is a little bit more thin before 6 months, so they are more risk of absorbing. So you want to wait till 6 months, but there's lots of things that you can do in the meantime. So staying inside, staying away from, the peak hours, such as 10 till 2 during the day, and covering up with hats and sunglasses and light long sleeve clothing and that kind of thing. Sun umbrellas are a good idea. So there's lots of things that you can do without sunscreen, and then when they're 6 months you can start to use sunscreen. Nice. So another question is, when can we introduce peanut butter?
Now, this wisdom changes all the time, doesn't it? This is a toughie, because I remember being told it was don't do it until they can talk and express what's going on.
Right, and that's when I was training, actually, that was usually what we said. It used to be sort of, you think about cow's milk at 12 months, eggs at 2 years, and peanut butter and fish at 3 years, and that's exactly right. But now we've been starting to see in more recent research that in some countries and regions in the world where they're introducing nuts and peanut butter earlier, that there's actually less allergies. So the question is, is it actually beneficial? And there's research that's sort of going into that right now to look at, can we introduce earlier? So in the general population of kids, we're now saying don't delay introductions of any foods for the purpose of allergies, unless there's a specific, they're in a high-risk population, like already have an allergy, or they have a sibling with an allergy, or they have eczema and asthma and other kinds of allergies and prone to that kind of thing. You should talk to your doctor about when to introduce it, but otherwise there's really no reason to delay introduction of foods.
Okay. Should we do one more?
Sure. So the next question is a little bit tricky. When should children not wear helmets? When should they take helmets off?
Well, if we're talking about my son, he should be wearing a helmet every moment of the day. Because that, again, yesterday, I go to see him, and he's got his nose is all bashed up. What happened? He fell down walking down the sidewalk and just boom. So I think my kid should be wrapped in sort of some kind of bubble wrap at all times.
Because he's growing, right?
Yeah. So is there actually a time when kids shouldn't have helmets on?
So actually, they should obviously, my general rule of thumb for helmets is if you're going faster than you can run, you should be wearing a helmet. So if you're skating, skiing, biking, and there's actually a law in Ontario that you should be wearing a helmet if you're under 18 and biking. But when you get to the park, you should take and you're on a playground structure, you should take the helmet off. And that's because there's a risk of strangulation if you get caught on something. So a lot of parents don't realize that or forget about that. And so tell them to put it on, but take it off when you get to the playground.
Excellent advice. Dr. Joelene Huber, she's a pediatrician. Thank you so much.
Thank you.